What up, peeps? It's your super sketch artist Antonio back with another unboxing, and this time I have not one but two Iconix to unbox. Now I finally was able to get my hands on these two, so WizKids, send a brother some products so I can get these out faster. Okay, it took a long time for me to get these because I want to try to support my local store and they ship slow. With that being the case, this is an amazing Iconix. This is the Cupid Deadpool. Now, the box, come on, that's amazing. This is the second time they've done the Valentine's Day figures, and this is pretty good. WizKids, make a Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean. Just do it. Just do it. Those who know, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. This is a very sought after Iconix. I've seen people buy like 3 of these, and it is because of these things right here. Trick arrows. The trick arrows, they look the same as every other version of trick arrows that we've ever seen, except for it has a heart on the end. And I love this sculpt. This sculpt is just, it's so Deadpool. He's just in this little cutie, chair pose and everything like that. I absolutely love it. His little wings, the hearts coming out the back. My son is a Deadpool fan, and if it wasn't for that, I actually really like this dial, I would give him this figure. Maybe I'll do what everyone else is doing, and I'll get another one and just let him have the figure. But I absolutely love this figure. This figure is great, and another thing that makes this figure so great is the actual dial. So not only does he have good keywords, which are Deadpool Core, Weapon X, X-Force, X-Men, which means he can team up with these guys on the theme team, Assassin, Deity, which is crazy, and Marksman. Marksman allows him to have those trick arrows for free. The cool thing about it is not only is he a wild card, because that's what his team ability is, he has 4 range triple bolt. 4 range and triple bolts means he can shoot a bunch of people, and him having steel energy traded but with range or close helps him stay in the fight and helps him roll around. And he also has willpower, which can again help him just stay alive. And then on top of that, once per turn, he may re-roll one of his single D6 rolls. Now, I'm always going to play him at 125, but again, if you team him up with his buddy Spidey, now you got super duper senses. That's absolutely amazing. There is a Spider-Man that has the X-Men keyword, and it's not the Hellfire one. If you don't got the LE Spider-Man, go get him. He's amazing. The cool thing about this Deadpool also is once he runs out of his trick arrows, once that last one is revealed, he gets to turn them back over, which is why most people have been buying multiples of these, because then these trick arrows, one of them says, instead of normal damage, place a hit character adjacent to a friendly character within 4 squares of the hit character. If you do, the hit character gains immobile until your next turn. So being able to say potentially hit someone like, say, a Hadari, and then all of a sudden say now you can't sidestep or run and shot away or anything like that is huge, 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 huge. Another one says, instead of normal damage, choose a hit character. That character can't attack until your next turn, which is probably the one that's making people buy multiples of it. I can't believe that they actually made that power into a power that's used through trick arrows for 10 points. That's super powerful, especially since you can have 3 of them. And if you have Deadpool out there, him shooting, I don't even know if it works that way, but maybe you shoot one person, hit them with the trick arrow, and then just deal the damage to the other 2. I don't know if it works that way, but if it does, whew, oy vey. And the last one says, instead of normal damage, deal a hit character 4 damage and knock them back. So along with this Deadpool dial, he does also have a stop click that gives him gives him regen and super senses. Having 2 stop clicks back to back is absolutely amazing. I love this piece. I cannot wait to field him. I will always be fielding him at 125 because that's just how I roll. The other thing that is very powerful that came in this box is these 3 bystanders. We have Rogue, we have Valentine Wong, and we have Deadpool's on and off girlfriend, Copycat. Remember when Deadpool first came into the Marvel Universe, he was a bad guy. He wasn't a anti-hero. He was a mercenary. He was a bad guy. And his girlfriend, Vanessa, had infiltrated X-Force and made herself look like Domino. And if you want to go back and read those issues, fun issues. I love Deadpool as a villain, not as a hero, not so much. I like him as an actual villain. Regardless of what anyone says, he was made to be Spider-Man with knives, and that also comes from Rob Liefeld's mouth. I've talked to him about it in person, and he's mentioned it multiple times. I know everyone says, Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson, but it's supposed to be Spider-Man with knives and guns. And if you look at the original design of Deadpool on that first cover of New Mutants 98, he looks like Spider-Man. The marks around his eyes look like Spider-Man, not Deathstroke. With that being the case, this Rogue for 20 points, she's like the Superman proxy. He has hypersonic, super strength, and impervious. I wish hypersonic and super strength still worked, but that's okay. For 20 points, this is not bad. Valentine, and that Rogue does have X-Men keyword. The Valentine has Assassin and Underworld. She has the Underworld team ability, which is great for 15 points, which is what she is. She also has Sidestep, Poison. She has Combat Reflexes and Perplex, which makes her for 15 points a perfect tie-up. And she says when Valentine damages a character without any action tokens, give that character an action token. So Poison is damaging the character, so her Poison also gives you an action token. Phenomenal. And Copycat has X-Force keyword. Again, she was masquerading herself as Domino, so that's why she has that. She's working for Bolivar Trask, or no, Tolliver. I think it is Tolliver, which we haven't gotten in Heroclix. Heroclix make Tolliver. But the cool thing about her is she has a trait that says Copycat can use the standard powers other characters within range, which is 3, can use. So if she's around a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of powers, she also has them. You want to have a bunch of powers with one person and support powers, say someone like the Caps Kooky Quartet, which if you don't have that, go pick that up. The Scarlet Witch that has Outwit, Prob, Perplex, TK. Copycat now has all of that for 15 points. So that's 10 points less than that Scarlet Witch. And on top of that, like she'll have the powers of anyone else that's around. Like that's very cool. She does have shape change on her own with a 10 attack, 2 damage, 8 movement, which is crazy, which again just allows her to get right up in the fray. And now I have all these powers within 3. That's pretty daggone good last time I checked. Rogue also has the Brotherhood team ability because we love making Rogue be the Rogue of when she first came into the Marvel Universe. So if you do not have this, go pick it up. It's worth having. The second thing up we have is the X-Men first appearance. I remember when we first saw this last year at Worlds, and I was just amazed at how cool this is. Shout out to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, the king, for changing comics with X-Men #1. This comic changed the landscape of comics in general. A lot of things, Superman, Batman, all that jazz, Spider-Man, of course, but a team like this, it was great. And I love that they directly replicated this into Click's form. I think that's the coolest thing about Iconix is you get to just replicate. We've seen it with the Spider-Man first appearance. We've seen it with the Wolverine first appearance. We've seen it with the Thanos snap. We've seen all these different things where it replicates a really cool comic thing. So kids, keep making these. I absolutely love them. I could list at least 10 comic book covers that will work great as Iconix, and make an Emerald Twilight or Emerald Dawn for Green Lantern. I know Green Lantern is about to come out, Lantern Legacy. I cannot wait for that set, but make a Green Lantern Iconix. There's so many iconic Green Lantern covers that would go really, really well with this. With that being the case, again, we got the love for it on the inside, which I think is important when we talk about this game, that we give reverence to the source material, which is the comics. So we have 6 figures to look at, and let's look at them first. Ooh. I don't like doing edits on my videos if I can help it. I just want to go right out the gate. So first up, we're gonna go Miss Jean Grey. Now, all the X-Men have the same trait, which is from first class to graduation. Free, heal an adjacent character with the X-Men keyword, one click, which is very powerful because it works not only with these characters, but with any other X-Men characters that you act like, characters that have the X-Men team ability. It works with all of them. We have X-Men 97 coming out in just a few months. So you can team any of these up, and also the trait that all of them have will be also very important with X-Men 97. And that trait says, and this works with everybody, just replace Jean's name with everyone else on that's in this set that's an X-Men. It says, when Jean Grey is KO'd, before removing her from the map, you may generate a character from the sideline named Jean Grey on their last non-KO click. This game, that character can't be replaced or healed, and it would be removed. And when it would take damage, instead remove it from the game without scoring it. Protected Pulse Wave, which is essentially the pilot mechanic. So I like that WizKids has found a way to implement that pilot mechanic without making them actually ride bikes or anything like that. So this Jean can shoot while adjacent. I love some improved targeting adjacency. All of the X-Men are either 75 or 60 points. Most of them I'm going to play at 60 points because you get the same thing at the 60-point line as you do the 75-point line. But a few of them, and we'll get to that, are worth playing at full. So she also has sidestep her whole dial, TK her whole dial, because remember at this point in time, Jean Grey was way more of a telekinetic than a telepath. But she does have traded mind control, and all of them also have traded willpower. And when they hit their willpower, they do different things. When she uses her willpower and succeeds, she can use barrier and range terrain action as free. So that means she gets to make a barrier, pick a piece of it up, sling it at you. And that could be after she's already gotten into position and mind controlled you. I absolutely love this Jean. This Jean, I would probably play her at 60 points simply just because when she takes a hit, she gets that double dose of evasion. But she also has a damage power that gives her enhancement prob, and that is protected outwit. So having probability control is always a good thing. I love this Jean. Next, we have probably the coolest looking sculpt in this thing, and that is Angel. Oh my gosh. Angel has been getting his pretty much since the game, since his first, I think, like Critical Mass, or I think it was that he came, or I forgot, Infinity Challenge, whatever the first Angel was, when he had the black suit on, his wings were just going. This has been absolutely amazing. This is a battering ram. It's not a cannon. It should be a battering ram is what it should be. I don't think it's a cannon because it doesn't have no range. It should be a battering ram. But these wings, WizKids does wings so well. And this just the way it's just kind of, again, it's right off of the comic cover, but the way he's kind of just mid-air, kind of tilted. This sculpt is top tier, and the dial is top tier as well, because not only does he have the first class from first class to graduation trait, he also has champions, defenders, and X-Men keyword. Jean has the X-Force. She has X-Men and Phoenix keywords. He also has toughness traded, and when he hits his willpower, he gets to move up to 5 squares. He also has improved movement, ignore characters, so you never have to worry about him being locked down, especially when a character, we all hate it, you hypersonic up to somebody, you don't want to roll that one, you roll that one, and now you're stuck. He never has to worry about that. And he has 11 movement to start with, which is great for a hypersonic piece. The other thing that makes him so cool, because he does have hypersonic, his whole dial with his special power, it says when he uses it, he can carry 2 characters instead of 0. Now, there was a Miss America that came out in the Avengers Forever. She was a super rare, 50 points of amazing. I used her at great lengths. When I did use her, I thought she was great. She ignores walls, I think, and stuff like that for movement. But this, him having the hypersonic, him also having empower his whole dial, that's very cool, because what it does is it helps out his homeboy Beast over here and any of the other characters that he might be next to. I absolutely love that. But when he has that willpower, being able to move 5 squares is amazing. Next, let's look at the other. So look, what you learn in the comics is that, yeah, Scott liked Jean, but everybody liked Jean, and Warren went super hard for Jean, and the one person that wanted Jean but never said anything about Jean was Hank. Hank wanted Jean too, but you know, he never said anything because he was going up against Cyclops and like rich Warren Worthington, who was this close to having Jean. If you haven't read the story about when the older Beast who's dying goes in the past and gets the young Beast and the whole original squad and brings them to the present time so he can figure out what's going on with him. If you haven't read that story, we've got that team in Heroclix form. Go read it. Like that's great. Anyway, this Beast only has X-Men keyword, and he should have scientist keyword because Beast was always smart and always a scientist. So he should have scientist keyword. A miss on that one, but he of course has the same trait as everyone else. He ignores blocking or outdoor blocking characters and elevated for movement purposes, and he has super senses traded along with that willpower. And when he hits the willpower after resolution, you may place any number of friendly characters 1 square away from their current square. Now that's anywhere on the map. You can just boop, place them 1. Placing is so much better than moving because you don't got to worry about rolling. You just move them wherever you want within 1 square. I love that. Special damage power gives him perplex and empower. When a friendly character uses willpower and succeed, Beast can use empower. I mean, he can use close combat expert until your next turn, which essentially gives him access to close combat expert his whole dial. I love that. Steady attacks, 11 attack, 3 damage is hold down, which essentially, if you do it right, means he's a 12 for 4, potentially, 6? If you pick up an object, because he does have super strength, him being able to move around the terrain. We just got smash and destroy with all these different traps and stuff like that he can reposition and everything like that. I really like this Beast. Again, I would probably play him at 60 points because you get the same thing as you would. And if you team him up with the LE Spider-Man, that gives everybody that's lower points than him that shares a keyword, gives him the Spidey team ability, he would have super duper senses his whole dial. So yeah, I love that. Next up, we have good old Bobby Drake. We have Iceman. Now they've made Iceman in this form a few times, and the first time they made him was in one of my favorite sets, Mutations and Monsters, and this version is such an upgrade. Like WizKids, y'all really have come a long way. This game has been around for so long, and it really, we look at the old figures next to the new ones, you're like, yeah, these are just good. I love the Iconix. He has champions, defenders, and X-Men keyword because him and Angel definitely were on the champions and the defenders. So that's why they have those keywords as well. He starts off with hypersonic. Now, this Iceman starts off with a 19 defend, which is cool because he has ESD traded. And when he hits his willpower, you modify friendly characters modify defense by +1. That includes himself. You're always friendly to yourself, which means he'll have a 20 defense, and so will everyone next to him. That's absolutely amazing with the enhancement. Once he takes a hit, he gets some empower and some running shot precision strike. I absolutely love this piece. 5 range with triple bolts is crazy because he has an incapacitate power on his first 5 or 4 clicks, which says incapacitate. When he uses it after resolutions, you may generate a blocking terrain marker adjacent to each hit character. So again, this allows for someone like Beast to potentially, when you hit him, boop, I incapped you. Now I place the blocking next to you. Beast runs, picks it up, wabam. Or Jean mind controls you and then does terrain action on you for free. The synergy is absolutely amazing with these pieces, and that's what you want. You want synergy. You want synergy, and I absolutely love that. Last but not least, from the X-Men, excuse me, we have Cyclops. Now, I love when Cyclops has a beam coming out of his eyes. I have this duo fig right here. First off, look at the size comparison. Look how big he is compared to this other Cyclops. He's so big compared to his counterpart. Just physically so big, but these beams both are great. But this is just, it's right off of the comic page, and I absolutely love that. So this Cyclops, he has champions, pilot, X-Men and Marksman. And the cool thing about him having champions is because like that story I mentioned where Beast goes back in time and grabs the first class X-Men into the present day, this Cyclops joins what is it, Kamala Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Vision, and Amadeus Cho as the new champions, and he joins the team with them and runs around with them, you know, because he wants to help. Once they get kind of stuck there, him and the X-Men kind of have a falling out, and he goes up with them and stuff like that. And I think he ends up dating someone too. Like it was really cool. It was a really cool story. So I like that they gave him champions keyword as well. This Cyclops can shoot while adjacent. See, he has that improved shoot adjacent. He has that improved targeting, which I think all Cyclops should generally just have, because that's what Cyclops does. He looks at you and shoots you. He has Force Blast on top of the willpower traded, and when he uses willpower and succeeds, opposing characters' combat values can't be positively modified until your next turn. That's very important, not only against the Magneto that's in here, but just on the map. Just the Cyclops hitting his willpower. There's so many pieces in the game that modify. There's so many things that modify combat values, pieces that up attack and damage and speed and all these different things with, you know, motorcycles and things of that nature. He gets all these things, and now all of a sudden, you mean to tell me you can't modify none of that until your next turn? And he's a marksman, which means those trick arrows that are in there, if you don't want to give him the Deadpool, you can give him the Cyclops instead for free. Yes, please. Fortunately, you can only have one pair of trick arrows on a team, because if not, I could see a whole team with at least 3 pair of trick arrows easily. Nastiness. He starts off just pretty plain with some running shot, but he does have range combat expert and leadership on his first 4 clicks, and that is protected outwit. So he has leadership his whole dial just to give you those extra actions and everything like that. I really like this Cyclops. I would use him at full simply because of the fact that I want those extra clicks of life for him, and I like the ESD that he actually has. He keeps an 11 attack, 3 damage his whole dial, so he stays steady. The X-Men first class are amazing, and the cool thing is in X-Men 97, we know that we're getting all of these characters, and maybe not Iceman, because I don't think he was in the show, but I know there was a Warren that flashed in the show real fast as Archangel. So fingers crossed for the original 5, we'll see. But being able to put them on the side, it's definitely the Cyclops and the G and the Beast. We definitely know those are in there for sure. So taking 3 slots, putting them on there. We know that one of the Cyclops that we saw is probably a high rarity one, where he has the word bubble saying, to me, my X-Men. Phenomenal scene. If you haven't watched X-Men 97, what are you waiting for? Go watch it. Last but not least, we have the second coolest looking figure in this Iconix, which is the Master of Magnetism. Magneto's been getting so much love for such a long time. Not only has he had just regular figures all throughout the CUR, SR, and chase level, like Venom Magnetos and stuff like that, the House of X Magnetos, you know, the Rise and Fall Magnetos, all the Ten of Swords Magneto. That's what you wanted to pull if you played X of Swords. If you play X of Swords, you wanted to play that Magneto. You wanted to pull him because he was amazing. And this Magneto does not stop being amazing. The Magneto we just got in Smash and Destroy is an amazing chase for 100 points, and this Magneto is amazing at 295 points or 175. I absolutely love that. If I end up pulling that Chase Magneto, I'm going to play that Chase Magneto and this Magneto at 175 and just say screw it, playing with Copycat and let them just kind of let her just mimic powers for them and stuff like that. That would be fun. Anyway, this Magneto is so deadly. But before I talk about the dial, this sculpt, again, they just did exactly what was on the cover as best they could. And this Magneto, the only thing that could have made this better is if this was magnetic. I would have went crazy, but this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. This is probably easily top 3 Magneto sculpts they've ever made. But the cool thing about this Magneto is he has 3 traits. He has no special powers at all anyway on his dial, which I dig. It's just values. But those traits, though, first one is probably what makes him great to me at either point value, which is when a character that's friendly or adjacent That's friendly or opposing, and that's anywhere on the map. When a character rolls a single d6 and the displayed face is a 5, after resolution, choose one. Deal that character 1 unavoidable damage. Heal Magneto 1 click. So being able to potentially just deal damage before any attacks actually roll off. Can you imagine a turn where, oh, I got giant willpower 5, deal 1 damage, leadership 5, more willpower 5. I'm gonna try to break away sidestep 5. Ugh, like that's that's so good. That's so good. Or just healing Magneto every time somebody rolls a 5, and that includes himself because he does have cosmic energy, which helps all these powers stay put, and he has Brotherhood. So if he rolls high, he takes tokens off of himself anyway. I love that. He has another trait that gives him ESD, or energy shield deflection. If he is 295 points, and this is crazy, opposing characters modify their combat values by X, where X is the number of costed actions that have resolved this turn, and that is protected pulse wave. So hey, you're going to TK somebody up with your time breaker, or you're going to move them up with your time breaker. Whoever's about to attack, -1 to all their combat values, even if they're pulse waving. Blah, that's amazing. Oh, okay, you just attacked with that person because the time breaker doesn't count against because they're autonomous. Okay, fine. Next person that comes in attack, -2 to their values. What? I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. That's amazing. I wish it went until Magneto's turn, because having somebody be -3 is amazing. But what is cool is his last trait, which is telekinesis. Power, big. Choose a square within range. Destroy all blocking terrain within 2 squares of the chosen square. Then make a range attack targeting all other characters within 2 squares of the chosen square. So, boop. And this isn't line of fire. You just need it within range. Yep, within range. So that's crazy. Doesn't say nothing about line of fire, and his range is 6. So choose this 6. And then now I destroy all the blocking. So if you try to barrier in, psych, that's not working. And then all of a sudden, here's this. Okay. Hit characters are dealt 3 damage instead of normal damage. If Magneto is 295 points, he activates the effects of this trait as free instead of power, both telekinesis and the power action. So what you can do in a game with him is you could get him in a position, and then what happens is you could just move him up because he has 10 movement. You can move him up 10, point somewhere within 6 with another 6, which is the whole map in today's game. Choose now. Everyone there has -1 to their combat value. He has a 13 attack because he has range combat expert. Hit everyone for 3. Thank you. And if I can see you, then I can TK something with you too. Like, huh? What's going on? So if you just carry something with you, just an object, you can just fling it at somebody with TK for free, like afterwards. That's absolutely amazing. Like that's crazy. Imagine just being running shot and shooting somebody for shooting 2 people. You got 6 damage. I hit you. Now it's minus attack. Shoot again for free. Bam, and then he could just TK himself 4 squares away. Now Magneto is crazy. No one's ever really going to use him, but like I always say online, you got to be brave enough to play him. He's 295 points, which gives him 5 points to be able to add a one-shot like Fortify, a time breaker to help him move around if you need to, any of the other one-shots that are there, or even something like Bucky's arm to give him a chance to evade, because guess what? If you give him Bucky's arm and he rolls a 5 instead of that 6, 1 unavoidable damage to you. And that says, yeah, after actions resolved. So shoot me if you want to. After, Bucky's arm. Now that I think about it, I'm giving him Bucky's arm. Maybe 4 to 5, but Bucky's arm, more likely, because you can't, Black Panther is so prevalent, you can get rid of Fortify with Black Panther, but you can't get rid of it with the daggone, you can't get rid of that Bucky's arm, and I would probably use that. And if somebody tries to come up next to you, that's a 13 for 6 top dial. I love it. With that being the case, what say you? Did you buy these Iconix? If you did, how are you liking them? Have you played them? Have you tried out the trick arrows yet? If you got multiples of the trick arrows, dare you tell us your combination of trick arrows that you like to use. Tell me your combination of trick arrows you generally like to use. Leave all your comments down below. I love to talk clicks with any and everybody that wants to, talk. I love hearing your opinions, and ideas for videos that you might want to see. I know I got to make more short, content, but I love doing these long things where I can just kind of deep dive a little bit into the characters. But with that being the case, of course, like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube things. If you made it this far, thank you so very much. It is your super sketch artist, Antonio, again saying be good to yourself, be good to others, go be super.